Hello folks, back out in the garage again today. I know I said I wasn't going to show all the sanding and stuff on this truck, and I'm not going to make a whole video about it, but I will film some of it and then put it right in front of the same video whenever I get ready to put the primer on, or when I start putting the primer on. So I have a couple of areas that I want to fill with some body filler, and then I'll proceed on this way probably with the sanding, and it'll all be fast forwarded as usual. But I'm gonna get busy. Okay, I ran into a little bit of a situation here. There's more work needed than I thought there was. Running along here, I found areas that were high. This shows up by bare metal. So I tapped those down, and they're going to require a little bit of a filling attention and some sanding board action. But then I was going to do a little bit of the little dents that I found along in there in the last video, and I found more stuff. So I'm not done with the body work yet, I guess. So let me show you what I got. Not sure you're going to be able to see this, but there's right along here, there's a dent right there, and that involves this body line and goes actually up in here a little bit. So I'll have to take the surface conditioning tool, knock the paint off of it, and work that. I think that's all the dents for the tailgate. But getting ready to sand on this side over here, and I found this, and I actually had it circled at one point. I guess I forgot all about it. So I need to work those areas, and then I might be able to, no, can't get back in there. Need to work those areas, and then I can start sanding again, I guess. But that's where I stand right now, so let me get busy on that. I bought a new 40 grit wheel for the surface conditioning tool. Here's the one I had. It's still got some stuff on it, but it's really hard to get in there. And here's the new one. Quite a size difference. These things aren't cheap. They're 40 bucks, even from Harbor Freight. But they sure are worth their weight in gold when you go to use them. Okay, I got this taken down with the surface conditioning tool. I'm not exactly sure how far I'm going to have to go with that, but I'm hoping that the top up here isn't too involved. I feel a little bit there, but I think it stops right here about where that black starts. So I think that's going to be okay. I got this one over here cleaned up and ready. And over here, the more I feel on this side, this is kind of wavy all the way down. It's got a low areas right here, and right in here. So I'm probably going to have to take the surface conditioning tool to this as well. There was a dent right here that I filled. It wasn't really a dent, if I remember right. It was actually almost a rusted through area. But, or it might have been back here, I don't remember now. But anyway, it's all kind of friendly, and I don't want it to be quite that friendly. Let me explain something. As I've said many times, I'm not anticipating a show finish, a show truck. But I've watched a lot of YouTube videos with guys doing their own cars and trucks, and and body work and paint, and there'll be dents like the one over on the near the tail light over there that I just showed you, that they just paint right over. And my thought is it doesn't take that long to fix this stuff. Go ahead and fix it and get it done right, you know. Even if you're just putting Rust-Oleum on it, I mean, unless you plan on redoing it within the next couple of months, then there's really, in my opinion, no sense to let that go. You know, just ignore it completely. So, like I say, I don't want a show truck. I don't have the facilities. I don't have even the capability, I don't think, to make a show truck. I did pretty good at building race cars, but they don't have to be show quality. But I do want it to be somewhat straight. I want it to look pretty nice when it goes down the road. I don't want it, you know, where you're looking at it and you see a whole bunch of dents that people will say, why didn't you take care of those dents before you painted it? It'd be a good question, in my opinion. So that's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. Sorry for the delay on the primer, but it is going to take a little longer now. Okay, rubbing this fender here, it appears or feels as if all of the waviness is about one hand's width deep until you get about right here. After that, it's acceptably straight. If you go down below, right along in here, it's all good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run the surface conditioning tool from about, let's see, right about in here, all the way down to here, and see what I got. And then if I come across any areas that are metal that are high, I'll try to tap those down with a shrinking hammer. And then I think all this happened when I pulled all this metal together to weld it all up here. And if you recall, that line is not perfectly straight of the bed, so I don't know. It seems to be what has caused it. So, but I'm going to go ahead and knock this down with the surface conditioning tool all the way down, and then run body filler probably actually up on here a little bit, all the way down. I know that's a lot, but hopefully it'll just be, when it's all said and done, just a skim, just to get it all kind of not quite so friendly. I don't want it to wave at you when it goes by too bad. Okay, I ran the surface conditioning tool across this, and then the DA sander to smooth it all down. Otherwise you can't really make out what you're feeling when it's being that rough. And you can actually see the areas where the paint didn't come off with either the DA or the surface conditioning tool. Those are the areas that are low. I don't really think that there's really any predominantly high areas. I think it's just low areas where it's been pulled in, with exception possibly of right in here. That area there does feel pretty high right in there. So I'll tap that down a little bit with the hammer and then fill it all. One whole swipe right along there, and hopefully that'll take care of it after I hit it a little bit with the board sander. This bend here, I'm not going to go up in here. I thought I would, but I'm not going to, because it's just so hard to replicate, with the exception of maybe right there a little bit, because it's not perfect. It's not going to be, but like this area right here feels high, but You know, even up here it feels a little low spot right there. I might put a little bit in that too. But I'm going to try to stay away from that area because I got that pretty flat up here. And I really don't want to mess with that. If it's a little wavy right here on the bend, I'm not too concerned. But this big long side being wavy, I really don't like that idea at all. So let me mix up some mud. I'll do that, the tailgate, in the area back there by the tail light. Okay, here's what I got. Definitely is not quite as friendly. Feels a lot better. So I guess the biggest problem was right along in here. Just like I said, we run your hand across, or hands width. Everything feels pretty good this way. I got a little bit, like right in here, that I'm gonna have to work up a little bit. And this area, right in here, is still pretty wavy, but don't know that I can. I guess I can put a little in there and make it a little better. I'm just afraid of messing this up here. But I'm also going to have to fill back in here too, so anyway, this area here, I started trying to cheese grate it before it was ready, but didn't turn out too bad. I'm going to have to check that body line. I think it's a little off, so I need to work on that some more. And this one over here feels pretty good, but it's going to need a little bit more right in there where the dent was. Everything else feels pretty good. I got to get all these boogers out of this. Okay, I washed the tailgate with some 120 grit. There was a emblem right here that I took off. It's right here now. I guess it sticks on with double-sided tape, so I'll have to figure out how to put that back on. And I am going to have to put a little bit more filler on that, and I'm going to have to hand sand all this stuff in here. There's no way to get in there with a sander. It's all raised. So knocked it down as best I could, and I will have to put some more filler on this. But I think, with the exception of a little bit right along in here, I think this side here is done. It's still a little wave to it, but nowhere near as bad as it used to be. There's a gouge there I'm going to have to take care of. I'll probably have to do that with some spot putty. Otherwise, that all looks pretty good. There's also some areas over on the other side on the rocker panel that I need to put some spot putty in. So I might go ahead, and I do have it now, so I might go ahead and put that in and let that be setting up. It takes a lot longer than the regular body filler. And this area here, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. This is actually pretty high right in there. It was probably one of the big old gnarly welds, and if I try to grind it down, it's just going to fall through like the other one did back here somewhere. I don't remember now where it was. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Alright, I'll bring you back in a little bit. Okay, I've applied one last attempt to make this area here straight. This top area is what I was more concentrated on. And I got this one pretty close. Knocked over my toolbox. This one here pretty close, but I needed to put in just a little bit more right there, and I found yet another dent. So I went ahead and filled that. This one here was also real close, but I decided to use the leftover Bondo and make sure that I got it right, because I was a little insecure about the bottom down there. So we'll see how that turns out, and hopefully that'll be the last fill on it, as well as with this area here. I'm really getting tired of working on this fender. All right. Okay. I got this area here as straight as it's going to get. It's not too bad. Still just a little friendly, but I need to go across it with the DA sander. But feels a lot better than it did before. This area down here has got just a slight wave, but nothing that probably didn't come from the factory with. But after I did that, I went ahead and, well, I finished these areas here as well. I think that's, no, I still got to finish sanding that. I got that one. And I think this one's good. Yeah, pretty sure that one's fine. So I went ahead and I've already sanded the tailgate, the outside of the tailgate, as much as I can without getting in there into the Chevrolet emblem and all that kind of stuff, and going around with the hand sanding. And then off camera, I also started sanding the rest of the truck. So I got all the way around. This is all sanded. This is the only panel that didn't require any body filler. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Days of Thunder or not, but the first time Cold Trickle went out on the track, he came back in, and after hitting just about everything out there, he come back in, and Buck, I guess the guy that's was the body man, he says, "Look at here, you got one panel that doesn't require repair." And Robert Duvall kicked it and says, "I don't want you to get lazy, Buck." That's kind of what this fender reminds me of. It's the only panel on the truck that hasn't required some attention. But anyway, I haven't got the top yet. And I got all the way around to here, where I have to take something stronger to get rid of those old stripes. And I ran out of gas. So, not the compressor, not the sander, me, I ran out of gas. Well, we got a lot done. Oh, you know what? I forgot to show you. I forgot to show you that also got all that done back there. that was just nothing but welds. There's still the metal that popped through from the welds, and it's not as smooth as an outside body would be, but honestly, I'm not really all that worried about that. But it is done. I can check that one off the list. I got quite a bit done today. I got all this stuff here taken care of. It was worrying me. I found a couple of new dents. I got those taken care of. Got the truck virtually completely sanded. I still got to do that over there, the top and the back here. And then I can start taping things off, getting it ready for primer. I do have to go around with some sandpaper by hand and sand some areas that you can't get into with the sander, but that shouldn't take more than maybe an hour or two, I hope. But we're definitely making progress. So hopefully next time we'll be able to see some primer go on this thing. I'm really looking forward to seeing it all one color, and I'm sure you guys are too. Well, thank you for watching, coming along for the ride. Please like and subscribe, and leave me some comments if you have any suggestions or comments. I'd love to hear them. Thanks for coming.